Welcome to the Wall Away. This is Imran Nalawal, and I'm joined once again by the phenomenal Travis, all the way from Ohio. Sunny, 95-degree Ohio. Travis, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I got to put my last name on here, man, so everybody gets Travis Smith. But uh, but it's good to be back, man. I appreciate you having me.
No, our pleasure, man. Our pleasure. Lot to talk about, man. So, obviously, we wanted to talk about the NBA Finals, but before we do, we had some news, and let me add our third host in for the day, our third guest, as I call him, Ruben Macho Man Camacho. Ruben, how you doing?
Hey,
What's
pretty
going
good. Sorry about the delay. I was trying to fix my camera.
No
Pretty
issues,
good.
man.
What's
Doing
going
good.
on,
So
man? How you doing, Ruben?
I'm good. I'm good, brother. Glad to join you guys.
Absolutely.
So
Welcome.
Travis Ruben is an old high school friend. We also went to college together, and Ruben is killing it in the real estate game now. So also another basketball head just like us, and definitely appreciate his
Junkie,
insight. So
basketball
guys,
junkie.
now go. So real quick, Skip and Shannon, man, a little surprised, but also not surprised. What are your guys' takes?
I mean, it's probably been a long time coming. Everything has its run. So I remember I remember when Skip and Stephen A broke up. Everybody thought it was going to be the end of the world, and both of them, moved on to greener pastures. It was kind of weird when Max came on with Steven's show, but it worked out for a long time. It was fine. Everybody got used to it. Same thing with Skip and Shannon. I didn't even think it was going to work out with Skip and Shannon, to be honest with you. And then it ended up turning into one of the best shows,
It was
on
beautiful.
TV. It's beautiful. So I think the when Skip kind of tried Shannon to his face with the Tom Brady thing. We told him, he was told him that Tom Brady's a better football player than him and all this stuff. When it comes to accomplishments, obviously, but I think Shannon's got pride about him. He's an athlete, man. He was a very good one too. And it's so like you can't. I mean, there's certain things you can say to a man to where it's like, hey, bro, like we can be cool, but we ain't. My first opportunity, I'm out of here, type of deal. And then the Damar Hamlin thing, I think that was kind of just the nail in the coffin. Shannon probably started looking for greener pastures. Keep it cordial, but he probably knew it was time to go ahead and move on. So it is what it is. Both of them will be all right.
Ruben.
Yeah, I think that uh, it's kind of a surprise. It's hard to see a good thing go away, but at the same time, there's always a backup plan. I think that uh, you know Shannon, he's always got something up his sleeve. He's always trying to be a part of something. I know he's been getting in, dabbling into different things, getting himself like more in the picture of like basketball, other sports. I'm hearing he's trying to maybe purchase. I think was it like a sporting, be a part of a team. I don't know if he's trying to like buy a team or something like that. But I would say that I'm gonna miss him saying skip 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Skip.
Skip,
But
Skip.
I think he might have something up his sleeve, and I will say that I think that Skip runs through people after a while. I feel like sometimes uh, I personally think that he runs out his welcome sometimes, like with his co-hosts, and I do think that like sometimes people can't handle some of his shenanigans. He's always apologizing for something that he said. And it's like you know I think at the end of the day, I mean that's so funny when they talked about him with the basketball stuff, but but
Water
uh,
Pistol Pete.
what's up?
They called him. Jalen Rose called him Water Pistol Pete.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. But that goes to show you, with somebody coming at him that way, it goes to show you that he does get under people's skin. Maybe that means that he's good, because if people are upset with you, it means that he's must see TV, But at the same time, I think that's why he's always had like different people like getting another co-host, because people are tired and they're ready to move on to the next thing.
You guys missed it, man. While you guys were talking, I took my glasses off, but nobody said anything.
Oh my.
You know, put your glasses back on. You don't remember that?
Yeah, we don't even know who you are without your glasses on, man.
Yeah. It's so
So
funny.
I agree with you guys, man. But here's the thing: this is media, right? This is
Yeah.
in media. Media is always going to attract sensationalist type of personalities,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So even you got to remember, like if you look at what Stephen A. Smith said, Stephen A. Smith is indebted to Skip Bayless in terms of helping him launch the TV career side of things. That doesn't give anybody carte blanche to do and say whatever he wants. So I agree with Travis. You know, there's a fine line in terms of there's a limit of what you should be able to say, especially to another man. Now, I think what makes Skip bad is also what makes Skip good, right? Like this is why people tune in, because he's so extreme in the things that he says, right? Like, I'm a Spurs fan and I love Skip because he's a Spurs fan, but he'll take it to an extreme, right? And he'll hate on LeBron to an extreme. So that's his personality. And they knew, and there's no hesitation in saying this. They use the word urban. They wanted urban personalities to like be his antithesis, right? So this is all strategy, right? It's all strategy. I think, look, the guy is 70-something years old, man. He got 6 or 7 years together with Shannon. They did great quite a few years. After COVID, those numbers started going down. And obviously, I think the two things that really, really pissed everybody off, I'm sure on the screen now.
And here's a guy that was not in the meeting when they came up with it, come in with his red pen scratching out stuff. Now, Tom Brady is not up, because most coaches and NFL coaches work between 80.
Because I just
I'm not going to let
you take Tom Brady or all
coaches. I'm not going to let you do it.
No,
I'm not going to let you do it. I don't care. I'm not going to let you be disrespectful to these damn coaches because you love Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not watch more tape. He does not.
This league,
ladies and gentlemen, that is a flat-out lie.
That's a flat-out lie that you're perpetrating.
Ain't
There's
no
never
way.
scared to death of his partners at this debate of 26. I put my pride.
What I would do.
Who did you pick? You picked the Rams and the Chargers. Oh, good. Yesterday, stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
I did what I did.
I never said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you. What if I got to see what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take.
I'll show you guys just one more quickly.
His motivational speech was the most inspiring, but criticizing his appearance, I don't know if I think that is a fair shot for Mike McCarthy. I'm going to leave it at that. Chris Broussard.
Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate that.
I don't think it is a fair shot.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a fair shot.
Is
either.
everyone
That's
who's
my
a
opinion.
good coach
Yeah.
as fit as you, Skip? I don't think that's a fair shot whatsoever.
I wouldn't want. I said it was a personal preference. I wouldn't want him to be my head coach.
That have not had the perfect ideal physique, including my college coach. So I don't think that's a fair shot.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to have an opinion, Skip. I am allowed to say whatever I want to say on this show.
So,
well, go ahead, man. Go. I'll wait to react. But go ahead.
No, go. Please.
So first of all, the chick. I mean, I forget her name. That's not Molly.
Jenny.
Is that Molly?
No, it's Jenny.
Jenny. All right, my bad. Yeah. So like, we're not watching the show for her opinion, man. So like, I hate when I hate when the moderators try to put their opinions in there. It's like, yo, man, like, I get it. Like, obviously you're a professional and you're there for a reason. You're good at what you do. But like, yo, like, keep your opinions to yourself. We're here. It's called the Skip and Shannon Show. And you're just here to move the segments around, like, you know what I mean, and keep time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'll leave that at that. But as far as like the Tom Brady thing, yeah, that's that's tough. That's tough. I mean, what Shannon was about to say was, Skip, you'll take a personal shot at me, somebody you know personally, who's your friend, in order to defend Tom Brady, somebody you like, but you don't know Tom Brady. That ain't your boy. Like, you know what I mean? So how is it that shows a lack of loyalty? Like, you know what I'm saying? And Skip obviously trying to like, oh, I didn't take a personal shot at you, blah, blah, this and that. But yeah, really you did, bro. Like, yeah, really you did. Like, he's better than you. Like, wait, dang, bro. You act like I'm a scrub. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I got 3 Super Bowls. And he's like, so what? It's like, see, the thing is, you guys were talking about, you know, Skip's kind of extreme, right? He says extreme things. The only reason it's extreme is because it's coming from him. If that was Ray Lewis talking to Shannon, if that was, you know, I don't name another dude, Tony Dungy, like somebody who's accomplished, who has feats in the NFL, if they were saying that stuff to Shannon, it wouldn't be considered extreme because they got something to back it up. They got a resume. They got, you know, they got clout. But since it's a dude who weighs 120 pounds, who couldn't even snip a D3 team in no sport, like, you know what I mean? So it's like you saying that it's extreme. So I think the problem with Skip is that he don't know. Sometimes, and this is a problem with a lot of people, man. They don't know where to stop because they think because they're in a certain position they can say what they want. But it's like, hold on, man. Like, how did you get there? Like, you're an expert in what you're in. You're not an expert in everything. Just because you have a high position in this thing doesn't mean you can give your strong opinion on something else. Just because you in a position in this. So like, you know, as it comes to media and all that stuff, cool, Skip, say what you want to say. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to like at least like the inner workings for the players, you're supposed to defer that to somebody who's actually been there, somebody who's got 3 Super Bowls. You should be deferring that to Shannon, not having a stronger opinion than him.
I think that's is true. That's why so many people get angry with him, because they feel like he's talking from a place of not having experience. You know, if I'm talking like, you know, I'm a realtor, so if I'm talking about homes, or I'm talking from personal experience on selling and buying. But like, if I started talking about something that I don't know about, you're like, who are you? You know, and I think that he gets that flack all the time. I do think the other point was sensationalism, 100%. Like, literally, what has swept our nation is like anything that's like crazy or like just outlandish or extreme. People just like feed off of it. So like, you see when, you know, he's very smart because he uses Twitter to get at people. He uses like all his social media platforms. And even though he's like basically a nobody in a sports, like, you know, the sports realm, people have given him such a big platform. And it's like, the more you feed into it, the more you get at him, the more famous he gets, you know. And it's just kind of like, that's why he's must-see TV, like you say. It's just like, because people love to hate him, you know. And so that's kind of my take.
These guys know what they're doing, man. Like ESPN, Fox, all these people who have thrown money at him, right? So I think I echo with what both of you said, and we'll close it with this for this segment of it. Is when you talk to people, you can talk from logic, you can talk from persuasion, or you can talk from emotion, right? So he's definitely an emotional speaker, right? And it's also, there's that personality where he can't be wrong. So when you combine all those things together, of course, he's 125 pounds. He's 70 years old. Of course, he's going to go at it with Shannon Sharpe, because when he feels he's right, damn it, he's right, right? So I think part of it is that, and I agree 100% with what you said, Travis. That's the way I took it. When Shannon said, you'll take personal shots at me, the way I heard that was like, your boy is telling you, like, bro, like, I'm with you, man. Like, I'm here with you. And, you know, if you follow these guys deeply, it's been made clear by many athletes that like they've tried to fight Skip, or they wanted to beat up Skip, right? And the word is that Shannon is like the guy like, no, he's cool, just chill, relax, like he's cool. So to do someone like that wrong, who's got your back when he doesn't need to have your back, that's for me, that was not a good look. And then with his age, you know, Skip does stuff on his YouTube channel now, on his own podcast. I think he's probably going to do more of that. And with Shannon, as you alluded to, Ruben, he's doing Club Shay Shay, right? So I think he's going to go to that club. Yeah. How popular it's going to be, I don't know. But one thing that Shannon Sharpe himself said was, he said, when I joined with Skip, I would have people come up to me and ask me like, well, how do I know so much about sports? So he was saying that people didn't even realize he was an NFL player or an NFL champion. So they knew him. Which, you know, brings that balance to it. But yeah, I'll close that segment there with that, guys. That's enough of Shannon and Skip, and we wish them the best. But we got something more exciting to talk about. We got, at least in my opinion, an NBA Finals that I am so eager to watch. I got 2 throwback teams in the Nuggets and the Miami Heat that are going to play. And before I go into any of my predictions, guys, what just your level of excitement, how excited you guys are. Ruben, why don't we start with you for this?
Oh, man. I'm very excited. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not 100% sure, because I feel that the Nuggets have so much firepower. They're so much stronger that they're going to dominate the Heat. But, I mean, anything can happen, right? You know, I feel like anything can happen. But, you know, I kind of wanted to see the, you know, Boston, versus Denver, because I felt like it was going to be a little bit more evenly matched. But I mean, Jimmy Butler, I don't know what supplements he's taking, but he just keeps on like doing crazy stuff. So it's exciting to see like that underdog story. It's always nice to see, kind of like that David versus Goliath, like just a big, it's just gonna be a big juggernaut in Denver. They've been number one the whole year. They have not slipped. I mean, they've been so consistent, so strong, and I feel like they're so locked in. I feel like everybody knows their role and they're just ready to go. But I will say that I give Miami a puncher's chance.
Travis.
I think Miami's best chance to even make this a series is to win game one. If they don't win game one, I think they get swept personally. They have to punch the Nuggets in the mouth immediately. Because the longer the series goes, the more the Nuggets, I believe, have an advantage, because it's always about I look at who has a higher like floor, and where I look at this, so the Nuggets playing at their worst is much better than the Miami Heat playing at their you know what I'm saying, if the Nuggets play normal and the Heat play normal, the Nuggets win every single time. The Heat literally have to play above average to meet the Nuggets normal. So the longer it goes, I think the Nuggets have a clear advantage across the board anyway. But they have a big man. I mean, when you have a big man like Jokic, it makes the game so much easier. Just as a guy who played, it just makes the game so much easier, especially you got shooters around them and stuff. I mean, basketball is easy when you have a dominant big man, quite frankly. So the Miami have to actually work to score. They got to move the ball. They have to shoot well. I mean, they have to shoot well to even be in the games. So, Denver gets a lot of easy buckets. They get a lot of easy buckets because they have such a great big man. So, their only hope is to win game one. It was kind of, I look at this like the series with the Cavs and the Warriors that one year when J.R. Smith screwed it up at the end.
Yeah.
How Cleveland if Cleveland should have won that game. If they would have won that game, it would have been a completely different series, right? But the fact that they lost that game, they were completely deflated and it was over. They just laid down and got swept. I feel like the same way it's going to happen with this. Like if Miami can win this first game, it makes it very interesting. But if they lose, I think they get swept.
Yeah, I think Miami has everything going against them. I think, Ruben said, they got a puncher's chance, but who's got more talent? Denver. Who's got more rest? Denver. Who was in the first place for most of the season? Denver. Who took care of business? Well, they took care of business the first couple of rounds, but obviously they faltered a little bit in the third round. Who's less injured? Denver, right? I think there's too much going against these guys. The fact that Jimmy Butler's been hobbled all postseason, obviously he's not showed it because he'll never show it. He's going to hide it pretty well. But then you got to work. Your role players have been doing really well. Can you always count on guys who have not been proven commodities in the league for years to consistently step up? I don't know. I don't know if Martin and these guys are going to be able to do what they've been doing, Duncan Robinson and whatnot. So obviously Tyler Hero might be coming back, but is he going to be rusty? Is he going to come? Is he going to start? Is that going to throw off the chemistry? So if Bam gets into foul trouble early, who's going to guard Jokic, right? Is Kevin Love, who's 4 or 5 inches shorter than Jokic, 3 or 4 inches shorter than Jokic, going to guard Jokic? And then on Denver side, you got off the bench, you got Jeff Green, you got KCP, you got Gordon, who can guard Butler. You can throw different people at Butler. And then people were saying Miami is going to use different zone defenses. Okay, great. I know they're very good at zone defenses. But Jokic is a guy who can play at the perimeter. He can play in the high post, and he can play in the low post. So I just don't know unless they pitch a perfect game, unless they're playing 48 minutes every night for the 4 games that they win. I don't know how they win this.
Yeah, and who's gonna guard Jamal Murray?
Travis, who's gonna guard Jamal Murray?
Who's gonna guard Jamal Murray? I mean, if it were me, I'll put Caleb Martin on to maybe because Jamal Murray's a big guard. I mean, so I would probably put somebody like Cam on him. They probably put Gabe Benson, but they still gotta have somebody to guard. Boy, what's the three that always shoots from three? It's called Michael Porter.
Your volume.
Michael Porter Jr. He's special. He's very good, very athletic, and has a great skill. So I mean, it's really bad matchup. I mean, they're gonna have to put Gabe Benson on.
Travis, your volume.
Oh, what?
Yeah, your volume went down.
We're cutting in and out.
Yeah, I think what Travis was saying that they're probably going to put Caleb Martin and
Can you hear me?
Speak again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Oh, sorry guys, sorry about that. But real quick, I think what they're going to do is do Gabe Vincent. I would rather put Caleb Martin, but I think they're going to have to put Gabe Vincent on it because they need somebody to guard Michael Porter Jr. So Caleb Martin's got the length to be able to do it. I mean, but obviously he loses on the size and athleticism. But you know, Jamal Murray's gonna have a field day because he's a big guard. He can post. He's one of the best guards in the post. So he's gonna post those guys up and just eat them alive. But I feel like the only advantage that the Heat have is something you mentioned, Imran, which was the fact that they haven't been resting for 2 weeks. They're battle tested. They're hardened. They're coming right off of a crazy series. So like they're hardened, experienced warriors at this point. So like it's actually to Denver's disadvantage that they've been sitting getting soft for a couple weeks. So that's why I think Miami's best chance is his first game because they're coming out. I mean, they're locked in still. Like you know what I mean. And you know I think Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra is going to have those guys ready.
Yeah, I think that's why what you said is probably accurate, right? Miami has a chance to steal this game one based on the fact that they just played a couple of nights ago, 3 nights ago, and Denver's been off for some time. But long term, I don't think that's going to have a huge impact because, you know, at this point of the season, man, if you made it all the way to the finals, you could do with some rest, right? You could do with a good solid week off and get the guys recovered, and maybe the last couple of nights get them on the shooting machine, get them back in their flow because, you know, you played 86 games or whatever in the regular season, and then you played average of 5 to 6 games per round, so 5, 10, 15. Another 15 or 16 games in the postseason thus far. So I think, man, that's about you're at 100 games so far at the NBA season. So I think the rest is going to do them well. But again, it's hard to go against Miami because of how beautiful it's been to see what they've done. But if I'm thinking logically, I'm not thinking with my heart, but I'm thinking logically. I mean, I would have to say, man, 5 games, maybe 6 games, right? Denver in 5 or 6. You don't think so? You think 7?
I mean. Ruben, what you think, bro?
He don't even think not even 5. He thinks it's a sweep.
No, I really do think it's a sweep, man. Because I think look at how Miami look what they did against Boston. They literally can't have a bad game ever this entire series. They can't have a bad game.
Yeah,
there won't be a coming back. There won't be going down by 15 and 20 coming back. You know what I mean? Like you can't have a bad half, man. Like Denver's too good. They're too consistent. They play very good defense. They're really well coached, and they're just really disciplined. And they got Jokic, man. I mean, Denver literally should have lost two of the games they won in against the Lakers. The Lakers played really good games, man. Yep. And Denver was very poised, and they probably should have lost those games. A lesser poised team would have lost those games, and they pulled them through, man. So like I trust Denver. I mean, you have to beat them boys. You have to really beat them. They're not gonna give you a game, bro.
Yeah, I think that the only way it goes to 5 or 6 games, and maybe Miami steals like you guys said, game 1, and then they steal one more, is if Denver doesn't take them very seriously. You know, if they feel really relaxed. It always happens like with championship teams, like where they're real strong. They're just like, you know, we're gonna beat them, and they just kind of like a cat playing with its food. I mean, I could see that like you know, there was games that I saw in the regular season where Denver, you know, they lost like real dumb games. You know, it was like just really silly, frivolous games. How are they gonna take this finals? You know, this is their first finals. Miami has experience because they actually were in the finals in the bubble, right? They were in the finals with the bubble.
Man, that don't count.
Okay, but I will say that the only, for me, a lot of things have to go right for Miami, but what has to go right is, like you guys said, they got to shoot phenomenally, and they got to get the main guys in foul trouble. So getting Joker into foul trouble, getting Murray into foul trouble. Because I noticed that a lot of times when Murray is out, sometimes the flow of the offense is not as fluid. Because he makes a lot of things happen. It's all, Joker's the biggest orchestrator, but what I'm saying is if they're out of sync and, like they've had that time off, they steal game one and they just find that just getting to the foul line, making the game really, really slow and just trying to get them, get their main guys in foul trouble and shooting right. But I really don't see them having much of a chance outside of that.
So they made it in the bubble. They have Eric Spoelstra, who's been there for their championships, and he was also, I think, he was an assistant on the Miami Heat team in 2006 that won. So you got some pedigree there. You got some hunger. Definitely these guys who are undrafted, they're going to be hungry. I do think they're going to be outworked and out-talented. But on the other side, look, game one's their best chance, right? So that's why I say 5 games. I think game one is their best chance. But on the other side, and I think I brought this up last week, Travis, was you got Jokic, who's probably definitely on a mission, man. I think he's on a mission. I think, as I mentioned, when they didn't give him the MVP, but all the rhetoric that surrounded him not getting the MVP having to do with racism and all this other stuff, and white players, European players get more of excuses than non-white players. I think privately this is motivating him, and I think he's looking to do some damage to these guys, man. And truthfully, why not? If you can be on the highest platform and go against, was Bam the defensive player of the year?
No, it was the dude from Jared. What's the dude from Memphis? The big man.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt? Jaren Jackson. Oh,
yeah, Jaren Jackson. Yeah.
So Bam was the defensive player of the year, I think, last year.
Was the no? That was this year, bro. Right?
No. I'm talking about Bam.
Jaren Jackson didn't get defensive player of the year this year.
No, I'm saying Bam. I think Bam got it last year.
Oh, last year. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bam. And Coach Munir all the way from Qatar, late to the party, but first in our hearts. I don't know, guys. Just whatever type of introduction I could get him. Coach Mo, I don't know if you can hear or see us, but your camera might be off. So I don't know if it's
he's
because
there. He's just really dark skinned.
You're gonna motivate him, brother. You better be careful.
I know. Yeah, I know, right?
Coach, can you hear us? Coach Mo.
Setting up.
It's that Qatar internet, man.
Man, they probably have better internet than us, bro.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, exactly. The internet has gold flakes running through it.
There he is, Coach Munir, all the way from Qatar. You're on mute, so whenever you can unmute yourself, we'll ask. Okay, I think you're unmuted. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I hear birds. I hear birds in the background. So I don't know if that's from Ruben, if that's from your microphone.
I got some Chicago birds.
Okay. Yeah. So again, guys, I'm excited. For me, it's still a throwback series, even though I think it's gonna go one way. But I'm not saying it reminds me of this series, but I was a fan of Detroit and San Antonio in 2005.
100%.
Yeah. And it got terrible. It was like the second worst rated finals up until that point. But I loved it. I personally loved it. So
you talking about with Ben Wallace when they beat they beat the Spurs in the finals?
No, they lost in Game 7.
Yeah.
But I thought Detroit actually did.
Lakers. The Lakers the year before.
Oh, the year before. Oh,
they beat them in 5.
Twice in a row.
They went to the finals twice in a row, so they beat the Lakers in 5 games. And the way the Lakers won the one game is, I think Kobe hit like a last-second 3 or something like that to win the game. And then with the Spurs, it was the Spurs 1-2, Detroit 1-2, the Spurs 1-1, Detroit 1-1, and then the Spurs won it in the last couple of minutes of that Game 7.
Wow, that had been an amazing series. I forgot about that.
Great defensive series. It was like if you're like someone who's defensive minded, it was low scoring, 80 points ish every game, but it was a grind, man. Tim Duncan had plantar fasciitis the whole year, so he was going into the postseason hobbled. And I'm telling you, bro, it was You know, you had Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, you had Antonio McDyess. It was a fun. You had Tayshaun Chauncey, you had Lindsey Hunter and these guys, and now San Antonio, you had
that's a great team, man. I mean, that's a
great team. Yeah, oh yeah. And then remember when they won the championship, they had Mehmet Okur. So Okur was one of the bigs coming off the bench, and then they had one more player that I'm forgetting about. Even Lindsey Hunter was putting in work for them. On the Spurs side, you had as Stephen A used to say, Rasho Nesterovic, and Rasho. You had I think Nazir Muhammad. And you had Beno Udrich, you had Brent Berry, you had Robert Ory, you had obviously Tony, Manu, Timmy, and a couple other guys. But you know, Manu had a couple great games. There was one play, man, he caught it at the 3-point line. He drove in, he put it behind his back, and he just racked Ben Wallace. It was beautiful. Tim Duncan had a beautiful rack on Ben Wallace. Oh man, he caught it baseline. He gave him a little jab step, and he came around with the hook and just threw it down on him. It was I love the series, Ruben. I know you watched it.
On an undersized Ben Wallace. he was like 6'7".
Yeah, but come on, man. But again, Ben Wallace was a multiple-time defensive player of the year, and he was guarding guys like Shaq. The thing is, when you have a guy like Tim, go ahead.
He had like 8-foot arms.
Not only that, bro, but when you're guarding a guy like Tim Duncan, see, Tim Duncan is cerebral. People don't think of Tim Duncan as cerebral, but Tim Duncan, he's not the fastest, he's not the quickest, but he's super smart. He's super efficient, and he doesn't give up. He's always going. And what people forget about Tim is before he had that major knee injury, which almost ended his career in the beginning of his career. I mean, Tim Duncan was bringing up the ball as like a point forward. Tim Duncan was catching alley-oops. You know, if you do yourselves a favor, if you guys have NBA TV, last time I checked, they were highlighting the New York Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs, the finals. Bro, Tim Duncan was putting in that work, man. Tim Duncan was putting in that work.
I love that Knicks team.
One thing is with Ben Wallace, you mentioned he had eight foot arms and stuff like that. He had huge hands. I had a buddy who worked in the summers. He worked for Detroit. He worked in the front office like as an intern. And he said, dude, he's like, first of all, Ben Wallace is like he's literally an animal. He's not even. He's like, and I read somewhere like Ben Wallace is rated like one of the strongest guys that ever played.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Freakishly strong. So like, yeah, he was undersized, but he was like he was probably stronger than Shaq, like pound for pound. You know what I'm saying?
He's one of my favorite defenders. One of my favorite defensive centers. I was just saying, you know, because I know Emran he loves the Spurs so much. So I just.
Yeah, you like all those big women in San Antonio, like Charles Barkley?
All those big. Don't make me show you how they eat churros, brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, one question for you guys before we jump. I know we're getting long, but you guys mentioned the bubble, and I look at the bubble as like not real. I think it's fake, but but people say, hey, LeBron has that ring in the bubble. It's a legit ring. Blah blah blah. Okay, well then does Damian Lillard have an MVP?
Was he the MVP that year?
They said he was the bubble MVP. They gave him bubble MVP.
Was that a real award, or they saying like?
They did a real award, my understanding.
So the way I look at this is like this, man, because people make the same comment about the '99 finals and where the Spurs won, and they said it was a lockout year, so it doesn't count. My thing is this: every player and every team that decided to participate in that season and participate in the bubble had a chance at winning it. Now you had guys like I hate to say, I'm not gonna say his name, but you had guys who were thrown out of the bubble because they wanted to get fried chicken at strip clubs, right? So any team that goes in there and they're disciplined and they're focused and they're like, we're going to get through this and we're going to take this as an opportunity. Sure, it's not ideal circumstances or situations, but every team, every coach, every player that decided to partake, they had a chance to win. So I look at it as a championship, even though I'm not a Lakers fan, bro. I'm not a Lakers fan. And I think if that season was a normal season, I don't think the Lakers win, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, anything to strengthen the legacy, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. They had to get LeBron another one, so.
Ruben, go ahead, man. Close us out with your final thoughts, and we'll end the show here. I think you're having a Coach Munir moment right now. So let's see if you can unmute. There we go.
Well, I can unmute. There's a guy like blading through some like crazy wood right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the question was about the bubble, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, it was a hard time, I think, for everybody, you know, during COVID. I mean, I know professionals are professionals. I do think that some things were inflated, and you know, at the end of the day, people are always going to question, you know, what's real and what's not. I mean, people did their job, but obviously it shortened. They had a lot of time of rest. There was a lot of like break in between. There's a lot of weird stuff that really threw a lot of people's timing off. And some people got healthy. Some people, you know, like you said, got kicked out. So I think that under normal circumstances, 100%, the winners would not have won. But, you know, it is what it is. It's sports.
I appreciate it, guys. I know we went a little over today, but thank you both for joining. We'll, you know, look forward to having you guys on again throughout the finals. And for all the viewers, like and subscribe and share the content. And if you two can just stay on for a quick second while I end this live.